Yep, I got a lot of messages. Railroad extended is something I don't want to use as the end of that sentence. Let's see. Ooh, Apollo 8 debrief. Let's see what we got here. All right. I'll be back in a second, fellas. Enjoy the footage.
Debrief. Apollo 8.
Roger. We're going to see if we can find some stars here before we do the P-52. And it's sort of in a paraphrase of a poem.
To debrief is to gather useful information after an event that might have gone unreported during the event itself, and to start to draw some conclusions.
Reading out Apollo 8. Okay, it was the night before Christmas and way out in space. The Apollo 8 crew had just one.
A machine may be said to be born when it first performs a useful function. This then is the birth of a machine and the beginning of an achievement. 363 feet tall, weighing just under 6.25 million pounds. Capable of 180 million horsepower, the first stage engines came from Louisiana. The second stage came from California, as did the third. They were proved out for the mission in Alabama. The vehicle destined to make the moon touchdown in a later Apollo mission comes from New York. The guidance and navigation equipment within the narrow instrument ring grew in Wisconsin, was checked in Massachusetts. Electromechanicals within the command and service modules are from Florida. Display systems from New Hampshire. The astronaut spacesuits are from Delaware. The mission commander was born in Indiana, grew up in Arizona. On its moon voyage, it will be controlled from Texas, serviced by computers in Maryland, splashed down near Hawaii. The giant crawler on which it rides was made in Ohio. The genius and sweat of literally the entire nation ride the mission. The dream of man, the long, impossible dream to reach out to the moon, is coming true. These men will lead the way. Colonel Frank Borman, Navy Captain Jim Lovell, Lieutenant Colonel Bill Anders. The successful conclusion, the happy ending, is history, but gaps remain. Importantly, part of the task of filling those gaps belongs to each individual. A self-debriefing to evaluate the larger significance of the event, which might have gone unnoticed in the excitement. For some, this re-evaluation has already begun. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale.
The mission of Apollo 8, quite apart from its significant scientific meaning, stimulated an immense rejuvenation of the spirit of mankind. And that spirit needed rejuvenation. A year featured by 2 grim assassinations, by riots, by racial and social strife, and a baffling attempt to end the war left men with a dull sense of frustration. Then at the end of such a year came the Apollo 8, an incredible adventure when 3 intrepid spirits circled the moon, fascinating the imagination of man. Their willingness to stake their lives on the enterprise, the infinite perfection of detail which worked precisely, and their deep spiritual understanding of the greater world in which God presides, communicated a new sense of man's greatness and gave the world a fresh sense of meaning.
Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. Ptolemy suggested that the Earth might be round. Columbus gave a practical demonstration of the fact. If any lingering doubt remains, now man has seen with his own eyes.
I have a beautiful view of the S4B and the Earth here all in one. I'll try to get a picture for you. Okay.
The S4B is the 3rd stage rocket engine. Droplets of its vented fuel scatter around it. The speed of the spacecraft, outward bound, brings us face to face with another acceleration, a new fact of life. Historian Arthur Schlesinger, Jr.
The salient fact of our age is the fantastic speed up in the velocity of history. It was as recently as 1903 that the Wright brothers soared for a moment over the sand at Kitty Hawk. And today, 65 years later, within the same lifetime of many men, astronauts fly around the moon. And now the velocity of history is carrying us into a new phase in the human adventure. No one knows where this new phase will end, in what triumph or tragedy. But it is clear that the flight of Apollo 8 begins a new epoch in the history of man.
Historian Arthur Schlesinger, Jr. Part of beginning an epoch, in the present instance, is keeping house for 6 days in a space about the size of the back seats of 3 station wagons packed for a family vacation. As you watch motion pictures taken on board, you will hear comments relayed to Houston on the same subject.
Thank you. Happiness is bacon squares for breakfast.
If you don't eat them, I'll bring them back. We'll polish them off here.
Okay, Houston, Apollo 8 here. I stand corrected. William had 1 bear's eat. He didn't tell me about it. He snuck it.
Part of the astronaut's working gear is a helmet holding earphones and microphone in position. It's called a Snoopy hat.
Yeah, you're looking pretty small down there now, Houston.
We're carrying a big stick, though.
Just barely got clear lake.
And your nozzle temperatures, Bill, have dropped from about 94 to around 66.
This is Mission Control. It stands as the first rank of the unnumbered and innumerable Apollo team. Flight controllers man the consoles. They watch a continuing readout of every system in the capsule, 3 shifts around the clock. All flight controllers speak to the astronauts through one voice, the capsule communicator of each shift. He is an astronaut himself, best suited to sense the needs, the stresses, the preoccupations, the environment of the men so far away. The line of communications is spread round the world. Land bases must be supplemented by ships carrying the special equipment needed to keep the channels open. Aircraft become flying transmitters and receivers. Other nations help with deep space communications. Australians join the team in Canberra, Spaniards in Madrid. The 3rd base is in California. Men, women, and machines spread round the world. This team is knit by faith, an acceptance of responsibility for perfect performance. It stretches back through the ranks to each workman involved in American industry. They kept faith in a spirit of dedication to excellence. The successful completion of the mission is a witness to how they came through. And once achieved, this dedication may be applied in other directions. Henry Ford made comment.
The courageous voyage of the Apollo 8 astronauts has done more than extend our knowledge of the universe. It has enlarged the spirit of man. If we can successfully challenge the mysteries and dangers of outer space, surely we can move confidently now to achieve a better, more peaceful life for our fellow humans here and throughout the planet Earth.
Mr. Henry Ford. Not all giant eyes and ears on Earth are turned toward the spacecraft. The sensing machines of the Space Particle Alert Network face the sun. From our life-giving sun streams a hail of infinitely small pieces of matter. On Earth, we are shielded from them by our cloak of atmosphere and our magnetosphere, the integument of Van Allen belts. The men and women of SPAN monitor sunspot and solar flare activity, looking for clues to an imminent rise in the stream of potentially hazardous space particles. The team grows wider, deeper, stronger. History repeats itself in paraphrase. This is the shot seen round the world. This is the first shot of Earth, live on television. The mission was conducted in the plain sight of the entire world, literally.
Happy birthday, Mother.
Back in 1961, when Apollo goals were first set, President Kennedy said, "Whatever mankind must undertake, all men must freely share." Apollo 8 remained true to that pledge. On television, it gave us a new look at the moon and a new look at ourselves. This is Thomas J. Watson, Jr.
10 years ago, it seemed probable that Russia would make this flight before us and would make a moon landing first as well. With the Apollo 8 flight, it becomes obvious that we have moved into the lead. We can be thankful that the United States has shown the world once again that it can accomplish any tasks it decides upon.
Thomas J. Watson, Jr., chairman of the board of IBM. Direct from the deep space tracking antenna in Madrid, these pictures were passed along to the Eurovision network, to London, Paris, Rome, West Germany, Scandinavia. They were seen in Warsaw, Prague, in Moscow. Citizen of the world, winner of the Nobel Prize for Peace, Dr. Ralph Bunche.
Apollo 8 and those stout-hearted astronauts have given to mankind a new and limitless perspective in the universe, and to the Earth an added dimension of proximity and neighborliness in the solar system. The epic flight of Apollo 8 in cracking the moon barrier demonstrates that man now has the capability to soar as high and as far as his dreams may project.
Dr. Ralph Bunche of the United Nations.
Okay, Houston. The moon is essentially gray. No color. Looks like plaster of Paris, or sort of a grayish beach.
Christmas Eve. The date of a mission is dictated by launch windows, which open and close in a long cycle. If you miss one, you wait. The December window opened the 21st, closed the 27th. So the date and hour of the Apollo 8 mission was really determined billions of years ago when the celestial clock was first set in motion. It timed out to the Christmas season. Bob Hope reported a Vietnam reaction.
All joy, believe me, all joy. The men I spent Christmas with have a lot on their minds, but the Apollo 8 trip turned out to be as important as anything. What the 3 astronauts did rubbed off on a lot of guys. Everybody grew a little tall, and that was double if you were away from home. And I think it'll be months before we know how much it meant to all of us and all the people of the world.
Bob Hope. It was Christmas on Earth and on the moon.
did not appear to be a very inviting place to live or work. Jim, what have you thought most about? Well, Frank, my thoughts were very similar. The vast loneliness up here on the moon is awe-inspiring, and it makes you realize just what you have back there on Earth.
Wasteland, desolate, inhospitable, in unremitting procession. The apparent speed at which you see these pictures is not real time. Only a technical camera was carried on the mission. Altitude about 70 miles, shot with a long lens.
Mike, I think I can say without contradiction there's been a mighty long dry spell up here.
I guess you can say anything you like without contradiction.
This film was taken through an optical sighting instrument on board the spacecraft. Two separate images converge on the single eyepiece. It was intended only for space navigation. Navigation in space requires 3 dimensions instead of 2. Scientific sextant observations made on Apollo 8 were a practical, potentially vital gathering of scientific data. Taking the longer view of the scientific value of the mission, comment was made by Dr. Leo Goldberg, astronomer.
I believe the Apollo 8 mission will ultimately prove to be of enormous scientific importance as a vital step that had to be taken before men actually land on the moon. Once they do, the exploration of the moon is bound to give us crucial information on how the moon and other bodies in the solar system were formed. Furthermore, the mission proved that we now have the capability to move large and complicated scientific equipment around in space and to deploy it almost anywhere we wish to in the space between the Earth and the moon. I find this to be a very thrilling prospect indeed. But no matter what happens in the future, the voyage of Apollo 8 will be looked back upon as the mission that proved we could really operate in space on a large scale.
Astronomer Leo Goldberg of Harvard University. The condition of zero gravity, when you get accustomed to it, has some very practical applications. The command module on Apollo 8, serial number 103, did not change at Christmas, but there was talk of reindeer and Santa Claus.
Right, he was looking for a chimney on 103 here, but he didn't see any.
You could have left the hatch unlocked for him.
I'll think about that one.
Think real hard, Jim. ECOM says he could have slipped down the steam duct.
Sounds good about that time, Bill. It was boiling water.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness.
And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day.
And God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. And from the crew of Apollo 8, we close with good night, good luck, a Merry Christmas, and God bless all of you on the good earth.
Isaac Asimov is a professor of biochemistry and a prolific writer of science fiction. For many years, he's been thinking in terms of an Earth to Moon to Earth trip. Asimov has a special point of view.
The feat of Apollo 8 is of peculiar interest to myself because it places me in the unaccustomed position of being over-conservative. In 1939, I wrote a story describing, in essence, this flight. I placed it in 1973. I suppose if someone had asked me then, do you really suppose people will fly around the moon and back to Earth by 1973? I would have answered, not really, but it makes a good story. Well, they did it in 1968, and I am more happy than I can say.
Isaac Asimov stands with one foot in the world of science and one foot in fantasy to take a fictional look at the future, and underestimates. With both feet in the practical world that now includes outer space, a comment from the returning space capsule during a TV transmission starts us off in another direction.
We have you about 180,000. Looking at yourself. Right, you're looking at yourselves as seen from 180,000 miles out in space.
Mike, what I keep imagining is if I'm some lonely traveler from another planet, what I think about the Earth from this altitude, whether I think it'd be inhabited or not.
Friday, December the 27th. Re-entries, splashdown, acquisition, recovery. The last 15 minutes of the flight began at a speed of almost 25,000 miles an hour. Then, only 5 miles from the appointed rendezvous in the Pacific, it ended, speed 0. If a machine may be said to be born when it performs a useful function, perhaps it is said to die when that function is fulfilled. And having died, it will be enshrined next to its still young ancestors, the aircraft of Orville and Wilbur Wright, Lindbergh's Spirit of St. Louis. But this is not an end, far from it. It is part of a much longer plan. It has been estimated that at some time or another during the flight of Apollo 8, over 1 billion people all over the face of the globe were tuned into the spacecraft by television or radio. The experience was most widely shared. The astronauts return to the world of men, but there's more. A week to the day after the Apollo 8 splashdown, another Apollo spacecraft had taken up its position on Pad 39 at Cape Kennedy. The countdowns by calendar and clock have begun to bring it to the same moment at which we first saw this Apollo 8 the night before it was born. As launch windows open and close, the next missions move forward. 2 test flights of the lunar landing vehicle, and then the proposed landing on the moon. And plans are in the making now which include flybys of other planets, visits to what Dr. Bunch calls neighbors. Eric Hoffer is a writer, until recently a working longshoreman, whose deep insights into the nature of man have stirred the thinking of many. Let me quote Eric Hoffer's words. I always felt that man is a stranger on this planet, a total stranger. I always played with the fancy that maybe a contagion from outer space was the seed of man. Hence our preoccupation with heaven, with the sky, with the stars, with a God who is somewhere out there in outer space. It's a kind of homing impulse. We are drawn to where we came from. And I'm just tickled to death that this thing is being done by squares, you know, by average Americans, not by these pretentious intellectuals, because this is the great genius of the average Americans. They take something momentous and make an unmomentous thing out of it. And by the time they are through with it, traveling into space and to the distant stars will become routine. This is why America is an ambiguity in the world, because we make it so that there are no exceptional persons required to do anything.
All right, I'm gonna put on something quick here.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
And we'll go from there. Hey, Pi, what do you call a cow with 5 legs? Chernobyl. Right. Okay. Jesus. Okay. Let me find something else to watch. See last. Worlds Within Worlds. I know the book. I haven't read it. Let's see. What else could we put in there? Well, I'm waiting. I just finished cooking. I made mac and cheese, man. Look. The bowl is chroming out, and my mac and cheese is fading. I gotta eat it before it fades. It has to be in my tummy. It has to fade into my tummy. You're making a couple of steaks. Steak. I don't know. We'll start Space News at the top of the hour here. Those arrow videos might work. Oh, yes, I still have those. Yeah, there they go. Yes. I have the playlist up now. Novice. Let's see. You're allowed to take a break. No. No. Come on. All right, we'll watch one today. Here we go.
Mark Hussey, the instructor at the National Test Pilot School. Here we teach pilots and engineers how to evaluate aircraft. You know, see if they perform the way they're designed, and more importantly, make sure they're safe.
Testing airplanes requires that we know a lot more than just how to fly the airplanes. We have to know why an airplane flies the way it does. And that all comes down to physics. Specifically, Newton's laws of physics.
Why is physics so important? Let me put it to you this way.
Without a good understanding of physics, the Wright brothers could never have gotten their flyer off the ground, because they wouldn't have known that the lift of an airplane must overcome its weight for it to fly, and that the thrust of the aircraft must be greater than its drag. But the Wright brothers did understand physics, and they knew about the laws of action and reaction, one of Newton's laws. A lot of early airplane designers didn't bother to study Newton's laws, so they built contraptions that didn't look much like today's airplanes, and for that matter, couldn't fly either.
Newton's laws of physics are still used today by aircraft designers for designing virtually every kind of aircraft, from a small prop job to a supersonic fighter. Using Newton's laws, engineers and pilots figure out things like where to put the wing, how big of an engine does the airplane need, how long of a runway will it take to get this thing off the ground, and when it lands, how good do the brakes have to be to stop it? These are all common questions when it comes to designing an airplane.
By the end of this course, you'll be able to figure out what makes a good airplane and why some designs never make it past the drawing board. You'll know how to calculate the distance of a takeoff and what it takes to get an airplane cruising through the sky as efficiently as possible.
It doesn't hurt to be comfortable either, but we do have to talk about the basics. So real quick, let's review Newton's 3 laws of physics.
Oh, you're back. Good. You know, Newton's first law is often called the law of inertia. It talks about bodies at rest and bodies in motion. But we're not talking human bodies. We're talking objects, things, stuff, like my favorite helicopter Igor here. The technical definition goes something like this. A body in motion at a constant speed will remain in motion at that speed unless acted upon by an outside force. A body at rest will remain at rest unless acted upon by an outside force. Piece of cake, right? No? Well, let's look at it this way. Say you take a ride in a spaceship to some faraway galaxy. I'm zipping through space at about 10,000 miles an hour, and there's nothing to slow me down, like the atmosphere or gravity of a nearby planet. When my engine finally runs out of fuel, how long will I stay at that speed? Forever. Back here on Earth, in the car, I'm a body in motion, and I've got inertia. But if I slam on the brakes... Sorry, man, you okay? I'm acted on by this outside force forming this seatbelt. Keeps me from going through the windshield.
In a jet, we have seatbelts just like in your car, only a lot more of them. It's because we're moving faster, we have a lot more inertia, requiring a lot more outside force to stop you.
Well, so far we've looked at the seatbelts you use in your car when you're doing 40 miles an hour, and the ones we use in the aircraft when you're doing 200 miles an hour. But what kind of seatbelt would you use when you're traveling at 17,000 miles an hour? That's how fast you have to go to escape Earth's gravitational pull and achieve orbit. In the early days of the space program, scientists had no idea on how to attack that problem. So they built sled tracks like this one here at the Dryden Flight Research Center at Edwards Air Force Base, and the other one at Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico. There they conducted tests associated with the rapid accelerations and decelerations associated with the space program. They put a man on a rocket sled and shot him at over 400 miles an hour. And then using a water trap, they abruptly stopped the sled. Oh man, that hurts. Nah, just kidding. That was a dummy they fired first. But Colonel Paul Stapps volunteered for the human testing. And while he survived numerous negative G tests, he said that when the sled jerked to a stop, it felt like his eyes had popped right out of their sockets. All of these, the car, the jet,
that's pretty much what happened.
Sled, they demonstrate how the law of inertia works, each one just a bigger example of the other. So let's review the first law again. A body in motion at a constant speed will remain in motion at that speed unless acted upon by an outside force. A body at rest will remain at rest unless acted upon by an outside force.
Yeah.
Okay, got it now? On to Newton's second law.
This is my favorite.
Newton's second law states that a force is equal to mass times acceleration, or F equals ma. You know that your weight is just your mass multiplied by the acceleration of gravity.
That's right.
The acceleration of Earth's gravity at the surface of the Earth is 32.2 feet per second squared.
9.81 meters a second per second.
G. We can use this in our equation to replace A with the G. Now let's look at the left side of the equation, the F for force. It's not hard to see that your weight is actually a force that demonstrates Newton's second law. So if I step on the scale with all my required flight equipment, we can see that I weigh 155 pounds.
Damn. Light.
Then putting that back into our equation, 155 is equal to m times 32.2. If we divide that out, we can see that my mass is equal to 4.8, and a unit we call slugs. It's a funny name, but the name's not important. Remember that number, because when everything else changes, mass stays the same.
Hey, nice jet.
Flying in an aircraft, we often experience more or less than 1 G, depending on the maneuver we're performing. That's all going to affect my weight. You've probably experienced something similar in a roller coaster. When you come up over the top, you get real light in the seat. Makes you feel like you're going to be thrown out. But then when you go to the bottom, you get pushed down towards the floor of the car. Makes you feel like you're really heavy. We experience the same thing in this aircraft, except to a higher degree. We pull a 2G turn, we're going to feel the same thing as you would in a roller coaster.
Dude, an F80.
Except now, my weight's going to be 309 pounds.
Cool.
And why is that? Okay, let's roll out and talk about it.
Let's roll out.
The reason that is my mass stayed the same at 4.8 slugs. And 1G is still 32.2 feet per second. But my G factor is now 2. So I multiply that all out. It comes out to be 309 pounds.
That's
Not bad,
the force you're pushing out with.
Okay, now that we got a pretty good handle on that one, let's do 4 Gs.
Slugs.
And we're clear left.
Oh, this is going to hurt a little bit.
Okay, so there's 1, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, and there's 4. Okay, that's the way. And if we could hurry, that would be good. Okay.
Yeah, that's really going to hurt, man.
And back to wings level 1G plate. Okay, if you said 618 pounds, you're correct. 618 pounds may sound like a lot. But you got to remember that an air combatant pilot, or a fighter pilot, routinely pulls 6, 7, 8, sometimes even 9 Gs during the course of an aerobatic show.
What would the metric version be, Pie Guy?
If I pulled
at all?
4 Gs, I weighed 618 pounds, but at 9 Gs, I weighed 1,391 pounds.
Oh, man.
That's a lot of force going towards my feet and legs. And all the blood has a tendency to leave my head.
Metric version
and
would
my
just
chest.
be kilograms? Yeah, there you go.
If too much leaves my head and chest, I can black out. That's why I wear a G suit. As I pull more G, it inflates, squeezes my legs and my stomach, keeps the blood from going down there, and provides an opposing force to the G's. An opposing force.
I like slugs
is what
just because I
Newton's
like
third
slaying
law is
slugs.
all about.
Oh, here we go. Third law.
Newton's third law is often thought of as the law of action and reaction.
Are you in the
This
exhaust?
is a jet engine bay.
Yep.
When the engine's mounted in here, it creates one heck of an action coming right at you.
Yep, okay.
The obvious reaction is it forces the airplane that way. That makes sense. But how does a jet engine work? Just like a balloon that flies away when you let go of it. Air comes in here, goes way back into the engine, is heated up, goes faster, comes around the back.
Yeah! Yeah!
That's how a jet works.
That's how jet works. Yeah!
With all that force or action, there has to be an opposite reaction.
That's right.
The reaction makes the airplane move forward, just like the rocket sled you saw earlier. But this time the aircraft has wings which provide lift, forcing it into the air. In fact, there are 4 forces actions and reactions, working every time an airplane flies.
All right, Gumpy, see you, buddy.
The thrust of the engine is one of the forces making the aircraft move forward. But there's an opposing force to thrust, and it's called drag. Drag is the resistance of the atmosphere on the aircraft, like you feel when you stick your hand out the window of the car while you're driving down the
Synchronized wing flaps.
When the drag equals the thrust, and the aircraft is no longer accelerating, but remains at the same speed since the forces are equal. If thrust is added and becomes greater than the drag, the plane will accelerate. As the plane's speed increases, the drag also increases until the thrust and drag
I haven't
are
done, but
equal
that's cool.
again. There are two other forces as well. Lift is the force provided by the wings as air passes over the airfoil.
Who knows what the downward force is? Who knows what the downward force is? Come on, you know this. There's another one. You guys got it.
The opposing force is, of course, weight. It may seem strange, but lift always equals weight. Otherwise, the aircraft
Your mom?
wouldn't stay in the air. As you can see, Newton's laws are really quite simple.
Anti-lift.
But a good understanding of them is essential to the development and flight of aircraft.
It's even more important, we're going to test the airplane. I'm teaming up with some of the best test pilots and engineers at the Dryden Flight Research Center. NASA's home of experimental
Oh
flight
man,
testing.
that looks like fun.
Together, we're going to show you the fun side of flight testing Newton's laws. And speaking of fun, we're out of here.
Oh, that looks like so much fun. Sure did. There's more of those that we'll watch over a little bit later. That was cool. Slugorama. I have VTOL VR Pigzig. Again, you know the drill. You got to get link perms, but I have the link anyway. Cool. All right. The guy in the piano's going nuts. Yep. All right, Bandit. What's this? European Space Agency. Yeah, I've seen this. Yep. Got to do those suit tests. Got to do them suit tests here. Okay, that's coming from our European friends. So that was Crew 3 suit leak checks. They're getting ready to come home. Last, this version is better. This is not leak checks. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Ah, yes. The more... Ah, yes, yes. The more realistic version of what Hussey was talking about there. Yeah. Yeah. Dear. Let me, let me fix this. Let me get the links. Okay. Alright, so we got that one. Ah, Rocket Lab. Yep. Oh, that's cool. I hadn't seen the helicopter footage yet. We'll, look into that a little bit more. There's a lot of Blorgen news. Yep. A lot of Blorgen news. We'll get into Blorgen stuff. You guys might appreciate that. We got a couple of time-lapse videos from certain spacecraft being put together that you guys might appreciate. Got some news coming from Launcher. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, you guys are going to like that. And then there was some Rule 8 stuff going on there. We'll get into that. Okay. Relate stuff, that never happens. So, yeah, Rogue, we, that has nothing to do with spaceflight, so, no. Rule 8 is just really talking about politics stuff going on. It's more against the, a better way to put it, I guess, Rogue, at this point would just be no Twitter conversations about politics in here. Frankly, if it's not about space, I don't really care. But not really caring shouldn't be confused for indifference. You know what I mean? Like, it's not pertaining to the stream, so I try to stick to space stuff. So here, we'll start off with this. Hey, Snow Crash, what's going on? My boat. All right. That's crazy, Zero. Yeah, like, Rogue, we can... The one time where I go a little bit lax on politics is when it comes to spaceflight. Because spaceflight policy is something I know and something I understand. I understand the political aspects of this pretty dang well. I literally read about it every day. So that's, like, something I can comment about. It's more about staying in your lane. You know what I mean? That's all. Now, before that, Tori Bruno tweeted this out today. So... there was a Starliner spacecraft or OFT-2 teleconference that was today, and Tori Bruno retweeted this, be there or be a blunt rectilinear multi-axis symmetric high drag shape. Be there or be square. And I can confirm to you that I am not a blunt rectilinear multi-axis symmetric high drag shape, because I attended it. You Squall, you like it? Yeah. Pretty good, huh? Are you sure? I was there, Zero. Where were you? No, we listened to that OFT-2 teleconference. So Starliner is poised to launch on the, what is it, the 19th? 19th or the 17th? I was working. I don't want your excuses, man. Okay, fine. You guys had to go to work. You guys being a freaking square.
Discovery.
Hey, Bad Wolf, 50-month reset. Hey, been gone doing some SM3 Space Interceptor testing. Nice. Was wondering if you'd like to see it and if I can post the slow-mo still. Yes, and yes. 19th, yep. New vid from aboard Photon about the Copia payload. Okay, we got a lot of links. Let's Yeah, there you go. That's right. So, long story short, what they said about Starliner is that they weren't able. All right, let me think about this. Give me a second. I have to compile the data. Compile the data. Here is the noise that EJ makes when EJ is compiling data in. Here we go. Just give me a second. Let me figure out the right way to say this. Okay. All right, so what happened with Starliner? So they went last year in July. They went to launch the OFT-2 mission, and they figured out that there was really excess corrosion inside of Starliner's service module. So Starliner service module is this section here below the heat shield. See, that's the heat shield, and then you got a service module down here. The service module, it's a similar design to kind of how Apollo went, with a service module structure and a crew module structure. Now, with that being said, they went to put the capsule out there, and none of the valves worked for the fueling systems on the service module. Now, why? Well, long story short, they didn't know. They all basically corroded to the point of getting stuck. Why? Why would you? How does? What do you mean? Why would that happen? Well, that happened, long story short, because of the environment in which those valves existed in got exposed to too much humidity. So, basically what that means is, I can't say exactly how, but I'm going to try to, I guess, be as blunt as I possibly can. It literally is outside for too long. Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it comes down to that. And I don't, yeah, it just was outside. It was outside too long. It was outside, it rained. You know, it was cloudy, it was humid, it was outside for way too long. Now, should they take that into account? Yes, absolutely. Don't you think you'd kind of explain that? Like, don't you think you should, like, take that into account? Yeah, you probably should. But there was also a lot of interesting circumstances that led up to that OFT-2 mission. Cast your mind back to early 2021. Starliner's ready to go in February. But it missed the window by like maybe a day. It missed the window by a day to be able to get up to the ISS because there were Dragon capsules all over the place. Now, don't get me wrong, that is not a knock at SpaceX, right? So they said, all right, fine, when's the next window opening? The next window came about in July. It came about right after Nauka. Nauka was supposed to dock up to the space station, the Russian Science Laboratory module, supposed to dock up to the Russian space station, and then Starliner was supposed to go right after it. Nauka docked to the space station, proceeded to fire its thrusters automatically and spin the space station out of control. Yes, that absolutely did happen. Good game, guys. So that actually delayed because they had to figure out what happened with Nauka, and they didn't want to dock another spacecraft to the space station when they weren't sure. So because of that, Starliner actually basically sat on the pad ready to go for too long. And it got hit by a couple of rainstorms, and anybody in Florida in the summer knows 3:30 every day, downpour, monsoon conditions, and then it goes away after a half hour. Capsule got exposed to that 3 or 4 times. So I'm pretty sure that humidity from, you know, water coming from the sky in mass quantities, which does happen in Florida, probably had something to do with it. That, and NASA was talking about C3PF conditions. So it seems like maybe somebody turned the air conditioner down too much or something at Boeing. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Maybe the air conditioner broke and it got too humid when they were building the capsule together. Long story short, that whatever happened to that service module, which its serial number was service module 3, whatever happened to it was something that was completely out of the norm. Why? How do you know? Boeing can prove that for sure, because all the other service modules, so service module 1, service module 2, and service module 4, were all made in the exact same spot with the exact same conditions. Service Module 1 worked fine. That was used on the pad abort test. Service Module 2 worked a lot. That thing really worked. We knew the valves were open on that because the software governing it malfunctioned after it launched into space. Yeah, the valves were working just fine on that one. And Service Module 2 and 3 were the same design. Service Modules 1, 2, and 3. They're all the same design. Service Module 3 they put out on the pad, and what's the difference? The difference is that it was out on the pad for a longer period of time, so it corroded. Yeah. They had a purged nitrogen cavity with all the valves inside of it, and because it got exposed to too much humidity, some atmosphere started to leak in. It combined with the nitrogen, the humidity in the atmosphere combined with the nitrogen to form nitric acid and corroded the thing from the inside out. That's what happened. I honestly and truly believe that it was just that they left it out on the pad for too long because of what happened with Nauka. I'm like 100% sure. Well, not 100%. I shouldn't say 100%. I'm pretty dang sure that that's what happened. But NASA and Boeing can't really blame this on the weather. You know what I mean? That they would get destroyed. They'd be like, what do you mean it's the weather? We know everything about rockets. How do you not design it to go outside of it? Man, that press conference was tough to deal with. There's a lot of people in the press that apparently should be operating spacecraft because they know how to do it better than NASA. So, Starliner OFT-2 is ready to go. It should be launching on the 19th. That's in a couple of weeks here. And yeah, hopefully we get a good OFT-2. And depending on how well that OFT-2 flight test goes, we could see people flying on Starliner by the end of the year. So that's good. By the end of this year, we should have, well, 3 operational spacecraft. 4 if you include the next one here. And that brings me into my next bit of business here. Sierra Space posted this today. You might enjoy it. You might enjoy it. You might, Rabbit. You might. Oh. Cranes, 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 cranes moving spacecraft parts. Whoa. The wings fold up, by the way. Just thought I'd let you know. Oh, that's so freaking cool. Spaceship. 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 S. P. Ace. Space. Hey. Load testing the wings, are we? Hand check? No, I'm good. Oh, that thing is so cool! Sort of an A-wing. Yeah, there was a lot of really cool stuff going on in here. So we got to see the mechanism for the wings to fold in and out because Dream Chaser's launching in a fairing in the uncrewed variant. The wings fold in on each other, which is really cool. Yeah, that's sick. Look at the jig. Look at the jigs that they make the wings on. Oh, that's so legit, dude. Oh. Wait, can I just pop back over here? Is that not eye candy or what? Oh, man. See? Look at how much reinforcement they have in here. Look at how much chunk. they have in here. This bracket right there is one of the hinges for the wing pivots. Look at how much chunkier it is than the rest of the craft. Oh, that's really freaking cool, man. Oh, that is so cool. Rocket Lab just posted this. Cool. There's the wings. All right, let's take a look. How do the wings move? Oh, gear. Yep, see? It's a geared drive to open the wings. See that? Cool. Metal gears. Yes. Damn, that's cool. That's pretty coggers right there. Oh, look at that. That's how it's going to be inside of the fairing. That's freaking sick. They were really going nuts with those bolts. Shut up. Oh, that's, oh, damn, that's cool. Look at that spaceship, man. Wait a minute. Gotta count something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's somebody's butt. Okay. 14.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Why is the fairing needed for cargo? Easier to launch it that way. Hey, somebody gifted Malachi tier 1 sub. Wow. That's America's tail right there. Look at that. Oh, look at that thing. That dude. Look at, they load test the wings here. See, it's in the load testing cell. Look, they're bending the wings. They're 154ing the wings. See? Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Is that a submarine? It's a submarine for space, Bacon. Oof. It's a space submarine. Damn, that thing is cool. Look at the aft RCS right there. Oh man, that thing is so legit. It's a little mini space shuttle. There's so much good stuff going on here. Man. Tim bought a news van.
Hey babe.
Hello?
Do you remember what kind of needle I was using on the peepo when you like put stuff away?
I left the needles actually on the table, to be honest with you.
They were in the box.
No, I don't remember.
Okay.
I do not remember. But I want the space shuttle to come back. That's the shooting star, guys. That module right there is going to attach right here. It's basically Dream Chaser's payload attachment fitting to the rocket. But also, it's the service module for Dream Chaser, so it could stay up there. In uncrewed variants, it could stay up there for long periods of time. Shooting Star attaches to the back right here, and it's like a little cone with some solar panels attached to it. There's a graphic of it on the wall. What's Bremo making? Don't worry about it. You'll find out. See, over there? That's what it's supposed to look like. That's what's going to dock to the space station, that whole thing right there. Yep, there's a pretty good indicator right there. Oh, yep, that's what it's going to look like. Soon. Soon. Yep, it's a service module that lets it stay up there. The other cool thing about this is that I'm pretty sure you can use it as an adapting fitting, and that can actually be its own free-floating space station, so you could use it as an adapter on the ISS. You could do a bunch of things with it. It's actually really smart. That docks to the CBMs, right? This is crewed. This one is not, Ivan. But for the people that are wondering, Dream Chaser, the uncrewed version of Dream Chaser and the crewed version of Dream Chaser share 95% part commonality. They're basically the same thing, except for some windows and some seats. Yep. Pretty damn cool, huh? There you go. There's a re-entry vehicle. People could fly on this, fellas. They will, sooner rather than later. And it's designed to land back down on the runway. They want to make it crewed eventually. Yep, that's right. Thought they weren't using windows. This one doesn't have windows on it, Mutter, but the crew variant can have windows on it. Is the cargo chaser pressurized? Yes. Absolutely, Mike. Mm-hmm. That thing is so freaking cool. Dude, it kind of looked like it came out of nowhere, huh? How many crew could fly in this? Dream Chaser could fly 7 people. Dream Chaser is basically the front of the space shuttle, just by itself. It's the front of the space shuttle. It's not. It's its own shape, but it does basically, it's like if you had the shuttle with no upper stage engines and no payload bay and no wings. It's the front part, so it's the mid deck, the flight deck, and the third deck. Just kind of, instead of on top of each other, they're right in front of each other. The flight deck's right here, mid deck is right here, third deck is back here with the airlock. Like I said, it's just basically the front of the shuttle as its own vehicle. Could it land on water in an emergency? I don't know. What will Dream Chaser launch on? Vulcan. Shuttle.zip. Pretty much. Yes, Ivan. Yep, that's pretty much it. 7 people would fit in there even worse than a 7-person tent sleep 7. Knowing NASA, it's probably not going to ever fly with 7 people aboard, at least on a NASA mission. I'll show you how people sit in it. There's a graphic of it somewhere around. You know what? I can't find it. I can't find it, so in lieu of that, I'm just going to show you this picture. And you'll like it. Here you go. Here's this picture. How was Railroads? It was good. Banter. Yeah, well, that's for the crew. That's for the cargo variant, but demo, that's a lot of space, man. That's a lot of space. Can you imagine? Dude, Dream Chaser, it has a trunk. It literally has a trunk, but the trunk is pressurized, man. Oh, this is such a good vehicle. Man, like, oh, this is going to be, that's good. Dude, we have like, this is going to fly. And they can put seats in it. It's not that hard to retrofit one with seats in a cockpit if they need to. Imagine what's Triple T? Tuesday Tarkov's with Tiradra, right? We have Starliner coming up. Dragon already flies. Starship's in the wings. And Dream Chaser is going to fly. Bro! Yeah, that'll work, Bacon. That'll work. Yeah. I mean, the seats, I've never seen the seats like that, but you could fit more people in this than you think than you think. There's a lot more space in there than one might think. So in summary, more spaceships. Yeah, that's really freaking cool, dude. All the stuff supposed to fly in 2017 was making it into the skies now. Yep. I like this. That face when your truck has as many seats and more payload capacity than the space plane behind it. That's really freaking cool, dude. That's really neat. I like that picture a lot. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can move people in this thing. You can move a lot of people in this thing. Interesting picture, Bandit. The first Vulcan launch is a Dream Chaser. I think the first Vulcan launch is the Peregrine lander. So, well, it's funny that picture right there, the picture with the Ferd. All right. If the space shuttle is a semi-truck that flies into space, like a big truck, like an 18-wheeler, Dream Chaser is literally that. See that right there? Dream Chaser with this is that. It's literally that flies into space. So it's a heavy duty truck with some payload capacity, and that's what it is. Especially with this variant, you literally have a pickup bed. How about a transit van? Yeah, we can go with transit van. It just makes a little bit more sense because there's literally a truck in the picture. You know, if that was a transit van probably would have been a better analogy, but there isn't. There's a truck, so truck, also Ferd. So that's what's going on there. Is the point on the nose to break aerodynamic shock or just for tests? It's a pitot sensor in that particular one for atmospheric flight testing. So we can put a small pickup in Dream Chaser and bring it to the station. It would have to be a toy demo. Dude, that's pretty cool, man. It's pretty damn special. Is he using the same tiles in the shuttle as the shuttle? They're shuttle derived, yep. They can put windows in the crew variant, Jim. They can do that. I mean, yeah, you can do that. It's a bit tight, no worse than an airplane. Yep. I think that's really cool, man. Looks like a flying shoe. Yeah, most re-entry vehicles do. Oh. Yes. Let's copy that and let's put that right there. Or it could just, download it again. Alright. The spiral, there it is. That's funny. Whoa. Oh, NLS. I mean, NLS, but also it kind of exists already. Yeah, there you go. Check that out. So, Dream Chaser has the ability to have an airlock put in. You see that? They can have an airlock in there. You can fit a lot of people in there. The heck is NLS? Basically Vulcan. Basically Vulcan. Basically. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is great. But I like that one over there on the left. I like this one. I like this one. This one's great, but I like this. Yep, there you go. 7 people. Could the DC with folded Dream Chaser with folded wings fit in the shuttle's payload bay? Yep. That's what it was supposed to do, Yard. Dream Chaser's original role was to be a lifeboat for Space Station Freedom. If something happened at the space station, you know, and a shuttle is not available, the Dream Chaser would be there. So its original plans called for it to fit in the shuttle's payload bay. Yeah. Yeah, that design is a lot older than you think it is. Can you imagine how cool that would actually be? Bad Wolf, what is your last? See last, see last, see last. Okay. Posted in general under Discord. Feel free to show on stream. Okie dokie. Dokie Dokie Literature Club. Yo. I can show this? Are you sure we can show this? I mean, you posted it on Discord, so. Word. What the heck was that thing yeeting out of the VLS, man? Yeah, shoot. DDG 86. That's an Arleigh Burke. Does that lineage of vehicles connect to MAKS? Kind of. This is the way. Yeah. Bad Wolf, I'm not sure what you were up to there, but that looks like fun. Dude, not anymore. I knew someone that, there's a viewer that watched the stream a long time ago that served on that ship. I haven't seen that person in forever. Like a really long time. But I remember there was somebody here, 0405, that served aboard that vessel. Not anymore, though. They got transferred. And then I never heard from him again. That happens, guys. That happens. Like, I'll have somebody that'll watch a stream every day for about a year straight, and then they will drop off the face of the earth. It's like, you ever seen that meme on the internet that's like, where you're messaging somebody? It's like, hey, all right, I'm done for the night. I gotta go eat dinner. All right, man, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Last online 10 years ago. The first minute of this without sound. Oh, word? Nice. Yeah, Farscape. Yeah. That's cool. So here's what I can say. It was a medium-range ballistic missile. It was awesome. It's a DDG Arleigh Burke. This is the way, is what our company likes to say. He's a Star Wars fan. Is what our commanding officer likes to say. He's a Star Wars fan. Right on, right on. Or when your dad goes out to get a pack of smokes. Yep. Why you have to make sad people truth? Yeah, that happens with viewers sometimes, guys. I don't ever see them again. Yeah. Something happens, something changes. I just hope that they're okay. You know? Tomorrow is Star Wars Day. I don't believe it. So today is not the way. So actually, here, let's check this out on a side note. Timmy posted this. Victory's like, I'm still here. I'm still here, El Guapo. And you were gone for a while. But Victory, see, your significant other actually checked in with me. I don't know if you ever knew that. When you were gone doing business, your significant other came in and gave me status updates. You know, within reason. Within reason. So, DIA's like, I'm here. Need backup tier 2, 81 months. I'm still here, El Guapo. I choose business ethics. And you know what, Victory? I really appreciated it. Because I'm like, I don't know where Victory went. He said he was gone, and now it's oh, sweet. Oh, boy. Anyway, what's Timmy up to? Timmer! So, Tim Dodd over here. Exciting announcement. I bought a news van. May I introduce Luna? Locational Uplinking Network Asset 2022. Some of the most exciting launches in my lifetime happening with many potential firsts this year. Hey, a news van. See, Tim has good taste. It's a good taste. That's a good taste. Yeah, see? Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like this. Now I need one? Guys, I already have one. And we want to be there on site for as many of them as possible, bringing you gorgeous 4K footage no matter where we are. Thanks to a robust system that is capable of reliable streams. Some of the things we were working on and looking forward to with this build. Installing our awesome Blackmagic News hardware. This is something we've had at Mars Studio B near Starbase, but we haven't been able to use it as much as we were hoping. So we didn't want to produce subpar live streams. What the heck? Damn. Oh, he's got batteries for days. Oh, that's cool. And solar's on the top. That's cool. See, I already got my news truck. If if we got to camper shell the back, so be it. If we got to camper shell the back tough enough, that's fine. We can do that. That's why I bought that truck. That truck is there for that. Actually, you know what? I got to go finish that damn thing so we can actually go and do that. I got to finish the freaking thing. And we should camper shell it, shouldn't we? Oh boy. Yeah. Yep. We should do all that, shouldn't we? For many news services, a live view has replaced the van. That's what I did with mine. No camper shell, large retractable broadcast antenna that looks like a warthog gun on the back. I'm pretty sure KSC Security Yarg will not be happy with if I show up with something that looks like a technical. I've been out of the loop. Has the FAA said something? Yeah, the only thing they said is that they delayed it till the end of May. The Air makes some good stuff for Ford. Yep. Any news about house hunting? Inventory is really, really low, guys. Yeah. Put the hatch on top of the camper shell for a PTZ to pop out of. Yeah, there you go. I need a truck camper on the back? Yeah, maybe. See, my command vehicle idea gains legitimacy now. I never said it wasn't a bad idea. I never said it was a bad idea. Damn. That's cool though that Timmy found an Econoline. That's a newer Econoline too. Hang on. Let's see. Ford Econoline. That's our transit vans before they replaced them with transit vans. The Econoline, the E-Series. There it is. What motor does it have? Just out of curiosity. Dude, we need that. We need that with like the jacks and stuff. That's really cool. An E550 Super Duty outfitted as a mobile broadcasting vehicle. Something tells me he got it in Connecticut. No, I don't think so. Yeah, maybe. So, the 4th gen. Yeah, it's either a 4.6 or a 5.4. A Navistar? Ew. Gross. Yeah, it looks like you could fit a 7.3 in there. And it looks like it came with IDIs in the 90s, which is actually pretty cool. The IDI is cool. T444 is meh. I wonder what motor it has in it. Does he say? Or, you know what? We can just probably read it on the side. Nah. It's a 2011 E350. It's got the badge delete on it, so I can't tell what it is. You really think Elon is out there handing out 2011 Ford E350 news vans? If so, sign me up. And now, sadly, not the case. Now maybe a Tesla Semi live stream rig I would take. Oh, man. I wonder if he needs a support vehicle. I know a guy. You know what? I'll just ask him. Where would be... Okay, chat. Twitter etiquette that EJ doesn't know about. Where's the proper place to reply? Do we reply down here? Or do you reply to the thread up here? Do you reply to the thread? What do we do? Reply to the thread at the top, Hotbox? Yo! Cool ride, man. What kind of motor does it have in it? Smiley face. We gotta put the smiley face in to show inflection. See, the smiley face makes it, like, playful, right? That's what this does. Am I making this cringe? Good. Good, because it kind of is. There. We'll see. We'll see if he replies to us. We'll see what Timmy's up to. Gotta have 3 smiley faces. It could have a V10 in it. It could have a V10. It could have. So that truck is 2011. So 4.6, 5.4, 6.2, or 6.4, or no, 6.8. 6.8. It could have the Triton in it. If it has the V10 in it, man. If it has the V10 in it, my respect for Tim has gone up. But it's gonna have a V8 in it at the very least, so it'll always go up. I'm gonna guess it has a 4.6 in it. Yeah, that would be my guess, or a 5.4. If it has the V10 in it, that thing's really cool. Question. Someone just said this to me. In thermodynamics, they tell us the entropy of the universe is forever increasing. Yes. Yeah, V-dub, so? Yeah, see, entropy says hi. We will wait. We will wait for a response. Explain. Well, long time ago, Val, the universe, the Big Bang happened. The universe exploded, and it's been ever expanding over time because heat. Because the explosions make a lot of heat. Now, you need this. Nah, I'm good, man. All right. Okay, so we will gleefully await further reply. What the heck is this? Hold on one second. Quick Formula One detour. What is this? Blank Red Sox. Easy, right? Hey Sim, what's going on? Let's see how many Formula One drivers know my home team.
Oh, baseball, I'm not good.
Is that San Francisco?
Arizona?
Chicago. I'm just gonna keep going Chicago because there's one that's gonna be Chicago.
Chicago?
Boston.
Oh, that's yes. And Chicago's
Seb, don't let me down.
Is that right? Yeah.
Seb, don't let me down.
I had a feeling I'd butcher that one.
Seb?
Yeah, I don't know now.
Seb?
Boston.
Yeah, I've been to Boston and to the stadium even. Boston's bad.
Red Sox. Miami.
Boston.
Oh no, Boston. No way.
Red Sox.
Oh.
You said that Leclerc got it right? They didn't show Leclerc in that clip. They are from the US, it's not bad. Yeah, Gasly. Oh, baseball. Nope. Oh, boy. Anyway, Sim, how you doing, buddy? How's everything? How goes the 8 years on Twitch? The streamiversary, my man. He replied? Leclerc replied? Oh, let's see. Oh, Timmy replied. Oh, nice, nice, nice. I was like, wait, Charles replied down here? We're not mad. We're just disappointed. We got a notification. All right, let's see. See? See? We liked him. Yeah, 10, that's right. Yes! Yes! V10, baby! Woo! Let's go! Awesome! Awesome! Oh, man. These Ford people. No, shut up. V10, bro. V10. 10 cylinders. 6.8 liters. Yeah! You didn't want a toaster. That's right. It'll be a while before there'll be a valid EV option. Something this big and heavy going across country, so I'm happy with having the power. Yes! Yes! Yeah, he's going to see that you'd probably want a diesel for that soon. But hey, whatever. V10s are cool, man. Cool. Awesome. To be fair, they should ask Red Sox fans to finish F blank and see what they get. F, what are you saying about me? Those are great engines. Miles per gallon. Yep, that's cool. We don't need to say good man. Should we now? Okay. All right. Chat, social media manager. Should we reply with a picture of the truck and be like, "Yo, we got the support vehicle right here if you need it." Oh boy. No. Yes. No. No. Do it. Yes, maybe? Maybe? No, just do it? Tacky? Yeah, that's too much of a self-promo, Yarg. I'm not into it. Fortune favors the bold. I'll shoot him a DM. Want to say yes, but which tells me no. Yeah, right? You know what we should say? If you need help with wiring, I can help you with wiring. I know how to wire one of these. We did it, remember? That's what we should say. If you need help with wiring, I wired up an old truck. No. Maybe I'll just shoot him a DM. I'll shoot him a DM. I don't want to do it in public. I don't want to do it in public. Weigh your words. That's right. Hokey just posted a clip of me reacting in replies to the... Oh, that's great. That's great. You guys are going to screw it up. You guys are going to screw it up. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, I'll just say, if you need help with wiring, I wired much older version of this. Yeah, we'll see. Fortune favors the bold. We'll do it. We'll do it. I did it. See? Look, there it goes. Now, we sent it out. We can't take it back. I'll just show up in my truck. Blah, 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 blah. What's up, man? Blah, 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 blah. SCV, good to go, sir. Oh, boy. Wait, where's Tim out of? He's out of Iowa, right? Oh, that's a long way away. Well, might have to go on a road trip. If I suddenly just disappear, you know, I'll be like, hey, guys, I need a week off. Bye. You know what happened. Thought he lived in Texas. Don't say that. That's even further away. Joe's like, pick me up on the way. I wonder what the livery's gonna be. Post van stripes, baby. No. He's clearly got the equipment to stream. Yep. He has a yeah, I know about Mars. Yeah. I think it's actually about the same time-wise. Yeah, maybe. I made homemade pizza for dinner. No, you didn't. You're a bear. You can't make pizza. Bears don't make pizza, you silly. Seb's been to Fenway. He should have known. Tim can start an OnlyVans now. I have an OnlyVans, you know. You guys want to see? You guys want to see? Want to see my OnlyVans? No, not fans. That's weird. Vans. See, it's NSFW. It's not safe for wrenches. See? Look at that. We got Vans with the hood up. We got vans with the side door opened. Look at that. Look at all this. We got vans that hop. Okay. Look, we got conversion vans. We got vans with a plow on the front. We got vans that have been around the block a couple of times. We got lifted vans. We got vans with some engine work done. That's not a van, but whatever. Look at that. Look at that. Barn doors. The back door is open. Look at that. Look at that. Look at it. Look at it. We got hippie vans with a surfboard on the top. Look at that. Look at it. See? See? Isn't that great? Look at it. That van has a shark on the side. It's got body art on it. You want the A-Team van? Well, we got that too. That van is playing Galaga. A Chevy Greenbrier? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's that thing. Yeah, those are cool. Yeah, those are cool. Yeah. 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 Oh, yeah. Those are... Yeah, Greenbriers are really cool. Yeah. You guys like that van? Pretty cool, huh? Cab over? It ain't a cab over, Doddle. Cab over implies the engine is right there. The engine ain't right there. Look at the vents. The engine's back here. It's like a VW. It's like a VW bus. But check this out. Check that out. That's on the Corvair chassis. So think Porsche 356, but in van form. Kind of like a Chevy version of VW bus. Yep. Those are cool, man. They got the engine's back here. It's a flat 6. Not a 4-banger like the VW bus. A flat 6 air-cooled rear-wheel drive. Yeah, and the side ramps. Yeah, swag. See, that's what Chevy was Chevy, man. That's what Chevy made some freaking sweet trucks and vans. Yep. Yeah. The freaking. Where's the one with the? Yeah, check this out here. So there's a pickup truck version of that van, right? And it's got a side door in it. Here, check this out. Look at this. Boop. That is a rear engine van with a side ramp, so you could drive stuff up and in. Isn't that cool? Those things were so freaking cool, man. If I could have any car, it'd be a greenie. They're pretty neat, dude. Yeah. It just drives right up and in. Yep, and you have a tailgate like a pickup truck. And the engine is flat 6 back there. That's cool, man. Those things are really neat. I kind of want one. Anyway, let's get back into space news. Wait, I don't get the engine. It's a flat 6, Yarg. It's in the pickup bed. Well, underneath it. Here. It's called a Chevy Corvan. It's a Chevy Corvair van. The Greenbrier is what it's called. Here, take a look. Look. See? Flat 6. It's a horizontally posed engine, so the pistons are going this way instead of like a V or like straight up. They go sideways. So it's low profile, so you can fit it. You fit it in the back. And then you have a pickup bed like a regular truck, but there's an empty spot in the center of the van, so you can put whatever you want in there. Yeah. It's really freaking cool, right? You know what the funny thing is? We've come full circle. Because I guarantee you Ford or Chevy's going to make an electric thing like this, right? But the batteries are going to be right here instead. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, old Chevy is cool. Old Chevy had cool stuff like this. I mean, you get into a head-on collision in this thing, you're going out the windshield. But also, Yep, lower center of mass. That's what I mean. That's what when I say it handles like a Porsche, because it handles like a Porsche. Same thing. Yeah. It's really low center of mass. The thing doesn't flip. It's, well, kind of the same idea as a Tesla. Yeah, those things are old school, man. Really, really cool. Anyway, we'll see if Hokey, I swear if Tim clicks on that, he's gonna be like, okay, I'm never coming back here again. Alright, let's see what else we got. I'm gonna get one and make a conversion, man. Odd space news. Future space travel might require mushrooms. Okay. Next space news. Alright. So, check this out. News from Rocket Lab here. They did attempt the catch yesterday. But here's footage I have not seen. So let's see what we got here. Did you see that? Yo! That's cool. That's awesome. There's the stage. That's the stage that came down. Now, the helicopter ended up not catching the thing. It ended up not catching it. And I think they had some problems. The pilots saw loads that they didn't like. So they ended up letting it go. And the stage ended up going down into the water, but they did get it back. The parachute, even after the helicopter snagged it, reinflated on the way down. And the Seaworker, which this is the ship that the helicopter was going to drop the rocket on anyway, went and picked it up. They fished the freaking thing out. Look. And it made it through re-entry. They caught it for a second, Jim, and then when they tried to pull it away, it didn't really pull too well. But dude, that thing's been into space. Look at it. It's pretty damn intact. How this thing makes it through re-entry without, like, cooking itself is... Oh, hey, Carthage. Nice. All right, let's see. How this thing makes it through re-entry without cooking itself is pretty nuts. Yeah, that was Carthage in there. I don't know how that popped up in my feed, but hey, whatever. So, Rocket Lab got it from the There and Back mission. We saw it. We streamed it yesterday. It was really cool. They're going to get the next one, I'm pretty sure. Reuse coming up if possible. So, Peter Beck said this. Sorry, they're going back to space, I reckon. Hey, I'd be more than happy to take one of those engines off your hands once you get it back to land. Yep, they're going back to space. Oh, Peter Beck's the guy that runs Rocket Lab. He says they're going back to space. I believe him. Is re-entry hotter than the engine exhaust? Eh, not really. No. If the rocket engine can survive rocket engineering, should be okay. But Bacon, you got to understand there's a lot more stuff at play going on here, okay? Electron is made out of carbon fiber, so it's actually super freaking light. And because it's super freaking light, it doesn't carry a lot of momentum on the way down. So the rocket engines are probably not going to be introduced to the same amount of heat that they would be introduced to on the way up. You can tell from this picture right here that they're pretty much okay. There's a little bit of outside scoring on the engine right there, so it did get heated up a little bit, but it's nothing that it couldn't handle because look, it's still in one piece, right? However, once again, the amount of heat it gets exposed to really depends on how much momentum it has, right? And if it can decelerate because it's super light, if it can decelerate really quickly, its momentum can be dissipated through heat a lot faster. How much heat you get exposed to really depends on how heavy, not heavy, how much mass, whatever's coming back into the atmosphere, how much mass it has. And kind of the speed that it's coming in at, that has a lot to do with it. But since Electron is so ridiculously light because it's made out of carbon fiber, and because those engines are really, really small, the engines are about this big. Because it's so light and it's so small to begin with, it really starts slowing down pretty much up there. It's like the whole thing acts like a big speed brake. And because it's so ridiculously light, it doesn't get heated up as much because it can slow down. That's why it's not really that bad. Now, if Electron was made out of metal, if this was made out of aluminum, probably wouldn't have made it. Probably wouldn't have made it in one piece, but because it's made out of carbon fiber, it can take it, which is actually really neat. Just a little under 100 kilos for the stage. Yeah, that's like 10 times lighter than like a Dragon capsule. This thing weighs nothing. You and I could pick this thing. Like, dude, everybody in this chat, provided everybody could get a hand on it, we could lift it up and throw it. Like, throw it. No problem. That's really freaking cool, man. It's really cool. It is pretty awesome, Smurf, yeah. Pretty awesome. All right, anyway. So, oh. Oh. Gee, I wonder who that could be. Give me 1 second. That's a lot of wires. Give me 1 second. Brimo is home safe, yeah. Let me see. Let me look at that picture. If I said 100, I meant 1,000. Sorry. Timmy just messaged me. I'm talking to him right now. Give me 1 second, dudes. I'm serious. We got a message. That was Moon 2 Typers right there. The kitchen better be as clean as I left it. I'm the one that keeps the kitchen clean, man. Alright, cool. We'll see what he says. Give me 1 second, fellas. I'm gonna have to figure that one out later. The S-92 helicopter has a little bubble window on the side for the catch. Oh, that's cool. How many chat members would it take to yeet it into space? A lot. Tim showed me a picture of the wiring on the inside. I'm not going to show it unless he said it was okay. But that's okay. Okay. All right, Mason, are you here? Or any electrical engineers here? This thing has the mother of all inverters in it, dude. Like the mother of all inverters. That is a big inverter. Alex, it's got a huge honking inverter in it, dude. So that I know that truck is 12 volt DC. Dude, the inverter is like server rack big, dude. It's 12 volts DC on the car, and they're converting it to 120 volts AC. Yeah, there's a gnarly inverter on that thing. And then they're using... Fellas, it's a 6-prong connection. That's what it is. It's a 6-prong connection for power. I've never seen that connection before, but it's... I'll draw it. I'll draw it out. Does it say current anywhere? Let me take a look. No. Let me take a look here. They're using some... Yeah, they're using some heavy lines right here. I've never seen a plug like that. That could be some mil-spec plug or something. Here, industrial vehicle AC inverter. Is it a commando socket? I'll have to look, dude. It's a big honking inverter, whatever it is.
Hi.
Hey, Bree. This is awesome! This is awesome! That's pretty pog! That's pretty pog, man! This is awesome! You are a legend!
Here, he can sit and watch you work. I did make that, Yarg.
You made this?
I made this.
I made this.
Now you're mixing memes. Yeah, how do you turn off the chroma?
I got it. I'll turn it off here. This is magical!
So it was an pattern on Etsy. If you just Google people crochet, or if you look for people crochet pattern, it was like, $5 or whatever.
People sad. And Scorp, I'm working on that. Look. Told you, I'm working on that, man. Damn.
I don't know. I could probably do a curval. I hadn't considered it, but now I have the... Well, it's not the same green, but...
That's pretty pog.
Yeah.
That's pretty pog. Marry her faster. I'm working on it, man. Damn. That's awesome. Here, I'll put him right here.
Yeah, he can hang out. I'm a little bummed I put the eyes on too soon because otherwise I would have waited to fix his head, but...
Oh my goodness.
E.
What did you point at?
Nothing. I thought maybe you got another one.
Nope.
I did it by hand, 619.
Look at that.
I know.
Yeah, that's
I have no idea. That's a lot of wires.
Yeah, she did it by hand.
So pattern on Etsy, chat. I'd tell you who it was by, but I don't remember. It was only like $5 though. It was a decent pattern. Yeah.
Alright.
Alright, I'm leaving now.
Yeah, we'll wait, we'll see,
Yeah.
see what's going on with that. I might need to leave for a little while. if Timmy needs me.
Yeah. You should do that.
Yeah. If he needs me, I'd definitely go and help. I'm sure we can figure it out. But yeah, we'll keep that right there. Yeah, that's awesome. Yes, he's got the elite knitting skills. Oh man. Another Route 154. I'll have to drive. Yep. You should ask him if you can stream it like you did with their truck. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Cool beans. All right. Back to space news, shall we? That truck that Tim got is sick, though, dude. That's really cool. Now I want to help. Now I want to look. I'm trying to figure out what the heck that thing is. And I don't want to show you guys because that's, you know, it's not really... Hang on. It's a beast mode of an inverter, I'll tell you that. I know the picture that he showed me is definitely an inverter, but I don't know what type of inverter it is. It's a big one, though. And it has weird 6-prong plugs on it, dudes. I've never seen those plugs before. From what I understand, it's a 2-unit thing. It has the alternator that generates 12-volt DC and then steps it up to 120 AC through an ondular. Did I read your question? No. If I didn't read it, I didn't read it. Oh, there you go. Quick question about railroads. How do you re-rail carts that derailed? Hit G, hit re-rail, and then go near it and click on it until it says it up here in the top left of about the car that you have, and then hover it over the rails. Do you have a picture of the inverter itself? No, I just have the picture that Tim sent me, but he sent it to me in a DM, so I'm not showing it on stream. That's that. I don't want to do that. You get a message in a DM, don't do that. Dude, it is a honkin' big inverter, though. The thing is like... It's like, I don't even know, probably like 30 centimeter by like 50 centimeter. It's big, dude. It's a big inverter. I'm just trying to figure out, let's see. They must have some kind of crazy step up, but it's got, like I said, it's got weird prongs on it. It's got 6-prong plugs on some of the inputs on the thing. Yeah, silly. It kind of does look like a trailer plug. Yeah, here. I'll see if I can find a picture of it. It does look like a trailer pin. Yeah, it looks like a 6-prong trailer pin hitch. Let me look at that picture one more time. So it's got 6 prongs, but all the prongs are like a slot. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, it's all the different wiring here. We understand freedom units here. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's so about 2 feet by 1 foot, give or take. 619. It's big. Actually, yeah, that's about right. Now, maybe a little bit smaller than that. It's for power. It splits the power. It's a power splitter. Yeah, the tabs on the plug, so like a regular plug for us would be like this. The tabs are sideways, and there's 6 of them. The inverters I'm seeing, the form factor you're describing, can go upwards of 10 kilowatts. That's enough for a few render rigs. Yeah, no, I mean, well, those news vans need a lot of power with the cameras that they have. Let's try power plug types. See if I could show you what I'm looking at here. I'll see if I can show you the type of plug. See anything like it. I'm looking over different diagrams here. Just use the drawing he sent you. It's a picture. I'm not sharing a picture without his permission. So the piece of equipment, whatever it is a here. We'll just draw it in paint. It looks kind of so it has a bunch of plugs on it. It's like this, maybe, and then it has like 2 rows of plugs. Maybe it's not as big as I described. It's probably, I don't know, a little bit smaller. But it has a plug right here on it that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, like that. All the plugs are going horizontal. See that? I've never seen a prong like that before, but maybe I could figure out, if I can get a diagram for it. That's what I told him. That's what I typed back. If I can get a diagram, dude, I'll be able to tell you what everything does. Yeah, the prongs look like that. 6 of them that are horizontal. Well, he said he needed help with wiring, silly. He said it in the post. So, everything else has, like, there's plugs up here. There's just regular plugs and regular wires. So, that's like, our plugs look like this, right? It looks like a face going, oh no, kind of like that. That right there. A generator plug. You think so? Why would they have a generator input plug on that thing? Actually, to be honest with you, I just want to figure out what the frick that thing is. And now I want to go and look at this more. I'm seeing 250 amps on a custom alternator for a news van somewhere. So at a 120 volts AC, there's 30 kilowatts. Yeah. She's a beast, dude. That's beast. Hmm. 6 pins on it. Hang on. Let me look at it one more time. It's like double redundant too. Everything has 2 plugs, which is actually really cool. This thing is neat. This thing's neaterino. A broadcast antenna could take a bunch of power. Yeah. It's taking input. Does it look like this? Let me take a look. No, not that at all. That's what you get when you get true professional gear. Yeah, hang on. Let's try. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see if we can find a model number on this thing. There's not enough wires in the picture to see it, but they're flat pins, yeah. Like a tab almost. There's 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does that have a thread around the perimeter? Yeah. It's plastic. It ain't like something mil-spec or something. And the other thing is that around each tab, there's a square box. So each tab looks like this. There's a square around it that looks kind of like that. Why can't we see the picture? I'm not going to share it without... I've told you 3 or 4 times now. It's a flat tab of a pin with a square housing around it. You know what? Fine. Here. Look. We're going to zoom in. So the box has this on it right there. See that? It's threaded. You got tabs here. Looks like it looks like it's dual redundant, like you got 2 grounds right there. But see, there's boxes around them, and then there's another empty box in the center. Maybe that's the ground. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that is. But that's one of the connections on it. There's regular plugs on this thing too, for regular extension cords, and then there's a bunch of that. And I'd like to note that some of the plugs have 2 wires coming out of them, or 3 or 4. No, guys, to be honest, this might not even be the inverter. But it does have DC in and AC out, so... But it has AC in, too. Huh. That's a high-powered DuPont power connector. It's so you can hook it to the grid? No, Bobby, I haven't. Anyway, alright, we'll look around. High-powered DuPont connector. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that one. Yeah, I'm going to have to go looking around for types of connectors. It is 3-phase. I mean, Shuts, it's off of a news van, so you know this thing is beast mode. All right, we'll do that research some other time. Let's get back into the rest of the space news here. So we covered the Rocket Lab stuff. Hey, Axis, tier 2 74-month resub. Did you see my theory of Rocket Lab in Discord general? No, I haven't. Catra, I think that's what happened. I think some of the rigging got tangled up. Yeah, that seems about right. All right. Okay. So we got our people here. There we go. Okay, so there was a So next bit of space news here. NASA administrator testifies on a 2023 budget request. How long is this? 1:55. Oh dear. All right, hold on.
Continued leadership for granted.
Not that any of them are ones that I'm not excited about being at, but if.
All right, let's. All right. So Bill, what was Bill talking about here? Trying to look around and see what's going on here. It's an hour 55. Yikes. I might have to go over this off stream, dude. That's a lot of stuff. Okay, here's the gist of it. I wanted to read something. Let's see. So Eric Berger posted this. Excuse the language, I suppose. What did Bill say for sure? I believe it is the plan that can bring us all the value of competition. You get it done with a competitive spirit. You get it done cheaper, and that allows us to move away from what has been a plague on us in the past, which is a cost-plus contract, and move to existing contractual price. Interesting to hear that from him. He said that? Why would he say that? Novus, was there any context to that statement? It's not 100% Bill in the hearing. There's another agency head testifying with him. You'll like his opening statement. Who's with him? Hold on, let's take a look.
Don't short sheet space technology.
I agree with that.
R&D. We need that extra oomph in our research and development. And let me give you one example. For years, by the way, you, the Congress, has rescued us on the question of nuclear energy in space.
Bill?
As a matter of fact, not until this year were we able to get the Office of Management and Budget to agree to put, albeit a minor amount, it's a symbolic amount, for nuclear research for space, nuclear thermal and nuclear electric. Not only producing electricity, where, for example, on the surface of the moon, we're going to need a lot of electricity because if we find water, then we have rocket fuel. And we've got a mission going to land on the South Pole next year. It's going to dig around down into the moon's surface. And if there is water there, then we have that opportunity. So I want to commend you for how you have constantly supported nuclear thermal, nuclear electric. But I want to ask you to consider pouring on the juice because that nuclear propulsion will give us a way to get to Mars quicker. And if we can get to Mars quicker, then we don't have to stay there for a long, long time until the planets realign so that we can get back within a reasonable period of time.
Pouring on the juice.
I could keep talking on and on. Aviation, something dear to Senator Moran. We're going to fly the first electric airplane this year. We're going to fly the first low sonic boom, supersonic future transport that can fly over populated areas with just a little rumble instead of that boom, boom that goes with the existing sonic boom. There's so many things.
I'll actually, you know what, guys? I wouldn't mind watching this at like 2x the speed. You know? I wouldn't mind watching it at 2x the speed. Because if you watch it at 1.5 times the speed, then Bill talks normally. I feel so bad about saying that. Oh my goodness. You know what? Fellas, just because we're running short on time today, I want to review this whole thing. We'll review it tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow for Space News. I'm going to keep that up, Novus, and we'll look through the whole thing. We'll look through the whole thing tomorrow at 1.5 times speed, so we're not sitting there for 2 hours. It's just very interesting that Bill would talk about... Okay, all right. You know what? It'll go by pretty quick. Well, Taradra's expecting me to play Tarkov with him in a second, so... He doesn't have the Mountain Dew to fuel him. That's the problem. Yeah. Yep. So we'll have to wait. Because he's expecting me. I don't like being late to appointments I have made. You know what I'm saying? Alright. So I'm going to save that. Give me 1 second, I gotta check something. Just letting you know so you have a time frame in mind when you go to watch it. Are we really not going to test the big thing that came out over the last couple of days because of Rule 8? What? What are you talking about? What holds back NASA is congressional law stipulating the use of various state resources in many installations for design, building, and testing operations of their missions. Yes and no, granted. Yes and no. I don't mind having all those installations there. In fact, putting them to work is probably for the better. And I'll go far as to say, guys, I don't mind cost plus contracting either. The problem, this is it's a much more complicated situation here going on. It's a much more complicated situation going on here, more so than just saying, oh, NASA shouldn't, they shouldn't be using cost plus, or, oh, this is what takes up all the funding, or, oh, this is what does this is what does this. It's more complicated than that. And there's I could get into the history of it for you if you want. But if I do, I'm going to be here for the next 3 hours. So it's probably something that we should jump into tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Here, we'll finish off space news with this. And so if you guys want to jet back tomorrow, we'll break down that congressional thing tomorrow, and then we'll do a Starship update right after it. I can tell you from experience that cost plus isn't a bad thing, especially if you don't have a properly defined scope. Pretty much, Rizzik. How do you know how much a rocket is going to cost with shuttle-derived components to go back to the moon? How do you know how much that's going to cost? No one does. Which, once again, Riz, you and I both know that sustainability argument from the OIG was bullcrap. That's bullcrap. What is it sustainable off of? I don't know. How the hell are you supposed to know? You got to do it first before you can say how much it costs. It really has a lot to do with being able to do deadlines and proper funding on a scale. You can't ask for a Ferrari and give them money for like a Toyota. You know what I mean? Not saying Toyota's bad, but you know, I don't think there's any Toyota that costs the price like the base price cost of a Ferrari. You know, that's really what it has a lot to do with. You know. It really has a lot to do with that and nothing else. And that has to do with a bunch of other things. And I could get into it, but I'll do it some other time. In the meantime, look at this. This is a nice GIF. You might appreciate it. Blue Origin had a huge update on their BE-4s yesterday. Earlier this year, a BE-4 flight configuration gimbaled 8 degrees while operating at 100% power level. Check that out. That's pretty neat. It is SSME levels of gimbal, and that's a big engine. So here, check this out. This thread from Blue. PQE 602 was the first of Blue Origin's flight configuration BE-4 engines that we assembled and tested, achieving consistent and repeated mission duty cycle hot fires over 2,500 seconds of test. PQE 900 accumulated over 500 seconds of test and 36 starts, or 5,000 seconds of test and 36 starts while completing combustion stability rating, engine gimbal, and engine restart. After minor refurbishment, it will be the first BE-4 tested at the historic Marshall Space Flight Center, test stand 4670, since its renovation.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
That's sweet. PQE 802 characterized unit-to-unit variation in different flight configuration builds. This engine configuration achieved sustained 104% power level operation to 572,000 pounds of thrust. We've extensively tested flight configuration engines up to and beyond the entire operating envelope, delivering superior performance, specific impulse thrust for a liquid natural gas engine. Thanks to learning from these test series, we are confident that in our first flight engines. Nice. Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice. Very good. Oh, that's really nice. Man, that thing's got a lot of DFI on it. Flight instrumentation stuff. I'm sorry, instrument, not instrument. Sorry. It's got a lot of instrumentation on it, meaning there's a lot of sensors on it, meaning it's a test engine. Similar to how, like, cars that are using crash tests have a lot of additional stuff attached to it to figure out how the crash works, etc., etc. Yeah, it got little ball valves at the end there. That's funny. So Blue had a huge update on the BE-4. That's really good. 2,500 seconds of time, 5,000 seconds, 36 starts on another motor, And another motor operating up to 104. That's really good. Yeah, the hard lines look really nice, don't they? I'm just glad to see them sharing details about this finally. No longer vaporware. Yep, yep. Hey, I have a 20-month resub. Thank you. Cool. A lot of good testing there. All right. I don't think the Blue Origin is 3D printed. I don't think it's 3D printed, but all right. Okay. Surely plastic on those valves would melt during testing. It's probably safing stuff, guys, to be honest. So, like, to make sure that no foreign object damage gets in there because the engine is outside, they probably put a little fitting on the end of it. Oh, jeez. Is Vulcan's first stage recoverable? The engines are. It jettisons the engines off the back, Jim. Yeah, the entire thrust structure gets jettisoned out, and it has a heat shield. And it'll come back down, parachute back down, and then they'll snag the engines out of the water with a helicopter. Kind of almost similar to what Rocket Lab's doing. Yeah, Yarg, it's fake news. Don't worry about it. They're not. Russia isn't leaving the ISS, no matter how many times Dmitry says that they're going to. Another article got taken out of context. Correct. All systems that are pure oxygen have a standard for particulate and oils. If a few micrograms of steel or aluminum dust, with a few micrograms of steel or aluminum dust, it will almost ignite instantly. So all open ends are plugged. Yeah, it's funny because it's just a little ball valve from like the hardware store. That's my favorite part, right? It's freaking got it's just a ball valve. Yeah, I mean, you got to purge those engines down, and they have to purge them out too. Is smart reuse planned for the first Vulcan launches or something that comes later? It's gonna come a little bit later, MotoKid, but they're doing it. Which is pretty rad. All right. Apparently ULA is looking to add 2 more marine assets to their existing fleet. That's right. Yep. And another mobile launcher. Yeah, and another 5th Hell Hydra. And they're doing smart reuse on top of that. And I'm willing to bet that we might see some Aces stuff in the future. I'm telling you, man, ULA didn't just double like their income. They tripled it. Probably even quadrupled it with those 38 Vulcan launches. That's a lot of rockets. Speaking of Rocket Lab, how easy would it be to catch a rocket like that in KSP? We don't have parachutes that are collidable, Shadowman, so probably not. I have a feeling, though. I have a feeling that it's going to come in the future. But who knows? Aces on EUS would be god tier. It's the technology. Yeah, Hell Hydra, exactly. The technology would be sweet. All right, guys. Oh, hang on. I got another message. Hang on, Timmy sent me a message back. Give me 1 second. I gotta tell Timmy why I know the wiring. He's saying we'll look around for the documentation. Atomo what's-his. Anyway. Tarkov time? Tarkov time? Tarkov time? It's all US's. Always has been. Road trip? Yeah, yeah. What's an EUS? The exploration upper stage. It's SLS's proper upper stage that it should have before well, when they decided to not do. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. It's the better upper stage for SLS Cerebral. It's a good upper stage. It's got 4 RL10s in it, and it's a stage that's as wide as the SLS core stage. Not as big, but yeah, it's good. As opposed to the small PP it has right now. Indeed. Yes, yes, yes. Yep, you got it. Okay. Four RL10s. Is that the same as the first stage? No. No. Those are RS25s. Those are a little more powerful in the core stage. Here, I'll show you. Let's go images. Let's go over to images. Let me get out of that. Let's see. Let's type in SLS EUS. There it is. That's the EUS. So those are RL10s. This is 8.4. That's the core diameter right there. See? You're not Tim. You can't keep all these engines straight. It's all good, man. It's a big boy upper stage. They're working on the drawings for it right now. Long story short. All right, Envy. See you, buddy. That's what SLS. That's what SLS will look like right there. Yeah, see, so you have instead of the conic stage adapter, they're called the launch vehicle stage adapter, or LVSA for short. Instead of that, you have a cylindric inner stage adapter, right? So you have your engine section, hydrogen tank, inner tank, oxygen tank, forward skirt, inner stage. And the inner stage is holding the hydrogen tank, and the oxygen tank is hanging inside of the inner stage. Do you guys know how Rocket Lab wants to have their hanging second stage? Same idea. Same thing going on here. They have to build the hydrogen tank bigger anyway, so you might as well have it carry the load, right? The oxidizer tank is just hanging right there because you can make it a lot smaller and thus make it lighter. And it's hanging inside of the inner stage with the 4 engines below it. On top of that, you have the universal stage adapter right here. The USA is an adapter where payload can go, like a lunar lander, for instance, or a gateway part. And then you have the staging adapter to Orion's ESM, and then Orion on top of that with its launch escape system. That's the big boy. That's what SLS should have been out of the box, but yeah. Is the Space Center in Houston worth visiting in comparison to KSC? Yeah, of course. Johnson Space Center is amazing. And you could see like a full Saturn V there. I mean, don't get me wrong, you could do that at KSC, but yeah, of course. Why did the Saturn V have a detachable interstage? Famous ring picture. Wouldn't fixing it to the lower stage have saved weight? For like an extra 5 seconds. It's only there for engine startup. Cerebral. Yeah. It's no. Yeah. I forget why they did that way. There was a good reason. Anytime I look at something that has to do with NASA and it doesn't really make sense, like, you don't ask why did they do that. What are they trying to do? Is the right way to say that. What are they trying to do? Well, if you have 5 J2s igniting inside of an interstage, you might have a little bit of an overpressure problem. So, I mean, because, dude, even nowadays, that Saturn V second stage is one of the most powerful upper stages ever devised. And I really can't think of anything that's even more powerful than that. Any upper stages, guys? SpaceX has 1,000 kilonewtons. ULA is 100 on Atlas V and Delta IV. Starship is going to have like 15,000, so that'll be way more powerful than a Saturn V second stage. But up until this point, yeah, the Saturn V second stage has 5,000 kilonewtons of thrust, which is a lot. That's a lot of thrust. The ring had the ullage motors. There you go. Stage 1 drops, the ullage motors fire, then the interstage, including the empty ullage motors, is dropped using its own smaller separatrons. Yep. Yeah, no, I know what it does. It's more what are they trying to do? Like, why is it that way, you know? Now that your weekend is over, how was it? It's fine. I present Vulcan EUS.